Warning, this video may be tough to watch. Hey everyone, it's Taylor and welcome back to Above the Yellow Line and happy off season. I don't know if you're supposed to say happy off season because we're also kind of sad because there's no NASCAR for the time being, but that's okay. Hopefully I give you some great off season content that'll hold you over until February when we go to the Clash. The off season also presents a time for creative content and reflecting on what I've done in 2023. And I'm gonna look back to the very beginning of this year where I made a 2023 predictions video. I think I released it in January or February. I honestly don't know. I have not looked at this video since I released it on YouTube. So we're gonna look at it now, see how far off on my predictions I was. I have a bad feeling I did worse than 2022, but let's go through this together. Y'all can roast me in the comments. I don't care, but we're gonna see. So let's get to it. Initial thoughts, I haven't even started this video yet, but oh my God. First off, the studio that we have now, fantastic. We made everything work with what we had at the time. Remember, if you guys don't know this already, last year, most of last year, beginning of this year, I was filming all my videos inside of a pantry in my college apartment. So that's how we started. Complete side note that I probably only care about is my hair. I need to do something different with my hair, and finally I did, thank God. So we're learning and evolving, but wow, what a throwback to the beginning of this year. Anywho, that's not what we're here for. We're here to actually watch the video, so let's watch it. This is about 2023 bold predictions, and I thought mine last season were bold. No, those were really dumb. Oh. And some of them were correct, sure, but I went a little easy on myself. I did, but I got a lot of them right. There are some ways I can very well fail really hard with these predictions, but let's spill them out. Let's go. Okay. Starting with prediction number 1. I'm already nervous. Going really easy and ramping up the difficulty. Okay, so we're going easy to difficult. I think winning only 2 races this season, no more, no less. Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski. Oh my God. I thought that was an easy prediction. I thought I had that one nailed. That makes me incredibly nervous for the rest of this video. And he's always a contender at super speedways. I would like to think he'd be a contender at MIS this season as well. As for Kevin Harvick, he could really... Listen, we all wanted a Keselowski and Harvick win this season. At least I did. I don't know about you all, but I wanted Harvick to win in his last season. I wanted Brad Keselowski to finally get the monkey off his back, winning a race at RFK that was points paying. Obviously, that didn't happen. However, like I said there, I thought Brad had a chance at Michigan. And who won the Michigan race? His teammate, Chris Buescher. So I'm gonna say, obviously this prediction was wrong, right? But I want to give myself brownie points for at least picking, I guess in a weird way, the team that would have won that race early on. So I'm going to consider this a small win. Win at any track in my opinion. I was looking at the stats a few days ago for the entire season, who was best at which track, and Kevin Harvick has most of those records. So I think Kevin Harvick has a good chance of winning. However, knowing it's his last season, it's the question of will that be a distraction or will he go out on a high note? So I think he has a good chance of winning 2 races, but that is it. So if they win more or less than 2 races, my prediction is wrong. So future Taylor, keep that in your brain. But Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick winning only 2 races this season. Okay, well, future Taylor definitely kept that in mind. I'm hearing past Taylor, and I'm very disappointed. But here's the thing about Kevin Harvick. He went out of the sport competitive. We don't see that for a lot of folks retiring their final season as being competitive. So props to Kevin. Obviously didn't win a race, and I think SHR kind of dropped the ball on their equipment just a little bit this year. Maybe not a little bit, a lot of it. But the fact that he placed top 10 at Phoenix, the final race of his Cup Series career, and he had a chance to win that race early on with a very dominant ride, I think that's successful for Kevin Harvick closing out his time in the Cup Series. What a freaking legend. I'm excited to see him in the Fox booth. But long story short, I'm trying to give myself some sort of way to hold on to this prediction, saying that I'm sort of right. I was not right at all. So that's one wrong prediction for me out of, I think, 10. So let's keep going. Is that this year's gonna be filled with tension. Maybe not necessarily a prediction, more so as it probably will be with the new TV deal. We have a rumor that there might be a separation with some one-off races with some of NASCAR stars. I mean, we already kind of have that with SRX anyways. Fair. We also have safety concerns that we're hoping were addressed during the off-season, and we have really big names that contracts are up at the end of this year. Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin are 2 that come to mind. Denny Hamlin is confident that he will get his contract signed, but I don't know. Ross Chastain, someone else who we wouldn't imagine would leave Trackhouse Racing, but if there's another spot open somewhere else, would he move? So a lot of uncertainty and a lot of tension there. So I feel like 2023, though it should be the season, things slow down.
Right.
I think we're in for a little bit more than we bargained for.
Okay.
I think, of course, teams figured out the cars, but...
Okay, so I'm gonna say that this was a good prediction. This is one that I got right. There was tension, there was a lot of big moments, and unlike what we thought going into the season would be a tame season, it was actually a bit more chaotic. A lot of kind of fun, silly season news. Ross Chastain obviously staying at Trackhouse, Denny Hamlin obviously staying at Joe Gibbs Racing. But I think this was a season that was a bit more competitive in terms of these teams did figure out these Gen 7 cars. William Byron won, what, 6 races, something like that this season? We didn't have anything close to that last year. We had so many new winners. This year, it was more competitive in terms of these teams that were expected to be dominant were dominant. And yeah, we're still having issues with the charter agreement and the TV deal. Nothing's set in stone for the Cup Series. They're still trying to figure it out. And we did figure out a lot of these safety concerns, so there wasn't a whole lot more tension there. But in the majority of places that I said we would have tension, I think we did. Whether I said tension in a positive or a negative way back when I made this video, I don't know, but I'm gonna say that this was correct. We're gonna move on.
Prediction number 3 is that we will see a rain race on a short track. Obviously, we have wet tires for road courses.
We did.
However, NASCAR did recently announce that they are allowing rain tires at shorter tracks like North Wilkesboro, Richmond, Martinsville, the LA Coliseum. We're definitely going to see drivers racing in the rain sometime this season on a short track.
Okay, so I did want to clarify my wording there. Obviously, we weren't racing in the rain on short tracks. It was wet weather conditions. So past Taylor, do better. But yeah, we saw some of that this season. So I'm going to give it an A+. Whether it was practice or qualifying in wet weather conditions, that was correct. I'm going to give that a thumbs up.
Speaking of rain, that leads me to my next prediction, which is, unfortunately,
I already know.
I think the 600 will be rained out, whether it's delayed for a few hours or to the next.
I cannot believe this. Okay, so this is the one prediction I know I got right because so many of you tagged me in this video, or at least you took the clip out of this video and tagged me in it on social media. I cannot believe, I cannot believe I got this right. I didn't want to get this right. I'm not necessarily proud of this moment, but the fact that every race I went to since I think last year in 2022 in the summer to this year at Michigan was rain related or had a rain delay of some sort. I totally jinxed myself in this case. So if you guys were at any of those races that I went to between those times in 2022 to middle of 2023, I sincerely apologize. I brought the rain with me. But yeah, I promise you for my 2024 predictions, I'm not gonna even touch rain delays. I don't wanna do that to myself again. Finally, when I went to the Roval, we had fantastic weather. That was the first race I had gone to where there was no rain related at all, at least between that 2022 and 2023 period. But yeah, this one boggled my mind completely. A+ in the worst possible way.
Next up, I think we're gonna have 13 different winners this season. I know we capped off the season with 21 different winners, and that's a lot. I think teams have figured out these cars
That's
a little
correct.
bit more,
They
there's
did.
gonna be less parity on the track with who we see win. Obviously, we have some rookies in the field. We have some drivers that are still looking for a win, and we could probably see some first-time winners this season. I absolutely guarantee that
we did.
However, I don't think we're gonna see that huge 2019-21 winner count. I think we're gonna just see like 13.
Yeah, I was wrong on that prediction. I think I was off by 2. I think we had 15 different winners this year. Obviously, we did have a first-time winner in SVG, which was very exciting. So cut and dry, that one was wrong. Moving on.
Here's where you are all going to not like me. I have a few predictions left that are a little bit more bold. So
oh God, more bold. Okay.
I think after this season, Joe Gibbs Racing is going to have to fill 2 empty seats.
That hurts. Who did I think they were?
Martin Truex Jr.
Oh, okay, Truex.
This season. And I think, though Denny Hamlin is confident,
Taylor.
I think, though I'm hoping this is not the case, that might be the case for Denny Hamlin. I think FedEx is maybe not going to stay on.
Okay, I am glad that wasn't the case for Denny.
He might have to drive for himself at 2311 Racing. And that's where I'm bold. I could probably be half right on this answer because I can probably guarantee you that Truex will announce his retirement. It could be an Eric Almirola situation where it takes on longer than we thought, even though Eric Almirola announced his retirement, then he decided to stay.
This year he announced his retirement, though, from full-time, so.
Around with the idea that he's done. So we'll have to see if he goes out with Kevin Harvick. I'm gonna stop myself right there because clearly I am wrong regardless of who I said in my prediction. I was actually at Michigan when Truex said he would be returning for another year. And obviously Denny Hamlin signed a multi-year agreement with Joe Gibbs to stay there. So all in all, I was wrong. Going into the season though, it didn't look likely that Truex was gonna return from everything that he was saying. And Denny Hamlin, I was pretty reflective on what happened last season with Kyle Busch. And I was like, I think the same might happen, but clearly didn't happen. I am glad that they have their stable all figured out for 2024 and beyond in Denny Hamlin's case. So yeah, this was a wrong prediction.
I gotta talk about road courses now. I know the fans really want there to be no more stage cautions at these road course races. So I think NASCAR is maybe gonna listen and before our first road course race, announce that they're stopping.
I got it right! I got this right. So before I even go into the explanation with this prediction, I knew I had this one right as well because literally right around the time where I filmed this, NASCAR announced that change to the rule. So obviously we had stage cautions back in the playoffs for that road course that we had, but the remainder of the season, or I guess the regular season, we had no stage breaks for the road courses. So whew, we got another one right. Maybe I'm not doing so bad. Maybe I'm okay. I think I'm fine. I'm fine.
The season to make a change. Or maybe before 2024, they announce that that change is going to be made. But I think maybe NASCAR is leaning towards the sides of the fans this time, and maybe this will make road course racing a little bit more interesting. So I think at some point this season, whether it's before we get our first race or in the middle of the season, we're going to see that stage racing cautions will cease to exist at road courses.
Okay, I want to follow up on that prediction there. Just only one more comment. I said I think it would make road course racing more interesting if we took the cautions away. And part of me feels like it almost didn't. It felt like it dragged out the races. However, the races were also shorter because there were no natural cautions. A race that would usually be, what, like 3.5, 4 hours at Sonoma ended up being, what, like about 2 hours? I think I'm totally off on the timing there, but you get my point that the races were a lot shorter when we did not have those stage cautions in there. And because we didn't have any, I guess, quote unquote, manufactured restarts or happenings during these races, it made them a little less watchable. So I guess I was wrong in the part where I thought I'd make it more interesting, but I did get the prediction right, so we're moving on.
I really wanted to make a prediction about the playoff format, that it would change.
Okay.
Just put that in here. It's not a solid prediction. And
well, what else did I say?
Predictions, but I would like NASCAR to reconsider some of the playoff format, just a little bit going into 2024, but.
Okay, so this is another thing that was very close to when this video came out that NASCAR changed the rule on. So right away I was like, I think I got this right. So now what it is you could be anywhere in the points system. It doesn't even matter if you win, you're in. So you could be last in points, but if you win a race before the playoffs happen, you automatically get into the playoffs. So because of that, it technically does change the playoff format, kind of. So I'm gonna say that this prediction was correct. Obviously, this didn't change like the points format necessarily. This didn't change, okay, like how many points is awarded for this? How many points are awarded for a win? Do we still have an elimination style format? Like, it doesn't change that, but it did change who gets into the playoffs. So therefore, I'm saying this was a playoff format type of change. I know there's also a debate as to whether the playoff format needs to change or not. That's for another video, but let's get back into our next prediction.
I do believe that the winner of the 2023 championship is only going to have 3 wins in the entire season, one of those being...
Ooh, okay, hold on. That prediction was part right. Ryan Blaney only had 3 wins this season. However, one of those did not come at Phoenix. It was right before Phoenix, but obviously, you know, it wasn't at Phoenix. I'm gonna say this was half correct because getting at least the number 3 correct, A+ on my part on that. But again, this is the first time in the elimination style format where the championship winner did not win the final race. So unprecedented, but I'm gonna say half points for me.
In the final prediction.
Final prediction, here we go.
This one yet, and I'm probably going to look back at this video and laugh my face off.
Okay.
But I truly think that this year we will not see one of the 3 powerhouse teams of last year, a Penske, a Hendrick, or a Gibbs, win the championship. I think it's gonna be maybe like Trackhouse. RFK could shock the world and win the championship. It could be SHR. They find themselves a championship yet again. So I just don't think it's going to be one of the 3 main teams. So that's probably my boldest prediction.
So clearly that was wrong. I think going into this season though, with how RFK performed, it was looking like they could shock the world. It did look that way with how good Chris Buescher was running. Even Brad Keselowski, he ran better in the playoffs than I think he ran in the regular season. Kyle Busch in the regular season looked like he was gonna have a good contention
in for the championship. Obviously, the team kind of faltered when the playoffs hit, but there was a chance that this could happen, so I wasn't too far off. But clearly, though, Team Penske won the championship this year with Ryan Blaney, and the championship 4 only consisted of the powerhouse teams, which is Penske, Hendrick, and Gibbs. So I was wrong on that one on my final prediction. That sucks.
If I'm right, I wish I would put money on this.
I'm so glad I didn't put money on that.
But I had to go out of this video making a bold prediction that everyone was like, Taylor, you were insane.
I'm looking back on this video saying, Taylor, you were insane, but how many did I technically get right? After a final tally, I technically got more than half right because I gave myself half a point on the championship winner winning only 3 races. The half point was taken away because I said including Phoenix, but the fact that they only won 3 races, I'm gonna say that was a win. We have 5.5 points out of 10. I guess that's still failing in terms of like, you know, grades if we're gonna grade this. But again, not as bad as I thought I did, but still not great compared to 2022. So I gotta find a middle ground going into 2024 with what predictions I'm going to have. Last thing I want to look at is before the season started, I did a playoff bracket. This one I am terrified about because I did end up looking at this one before I ended up making my playoff bracket when the playoffs actually hit. So let's take a look at it. The biggest issue here is I said Allmendinger, Briscoe, Cindric, and Preece would make the playoffs. Obviously, I'm going off of last year quite a bit. The one driver I left out of here just idiotically was Martin Truex Jr. I literally, not that I forgot about Truex, you can't forget about Truex, but because he didn't make it last year and I was looking at my bracket from 2022 to help me with 2023, I failed myself here, I really did. But man, if Allmendinger could have won a race sooner, he would have been in the playoffs. Cindric had in pretty rough year. Briscoe had an off year. Same with Preece. SHR as a whole did. Obviously, Bowman and Elliott had their injuries. Were not able to win to get into the playoffs. So I'm looking through the line here. The round of 12 looks a little bit better. Obviously, I still have Elliott in there, Bowman. So maybe not completely better when we get to the round of 8. I'm still seeing some issues there. My championship 4 is what I want to focus on because this is where I can kind of say I told you so, but kind of not. I thought before the season started that Ryan Blaney was going to make the championship 4. I also thought William Byron was finally going to make the championship 4. So I got the 2 first-time contenders in the championship 4 correct going into the season, I guess before the season even started. So brownie points to me. Where I totally lost them is I thought Chase Elliott was going to make the championship 4 and Kevin Harvick would. And because I wanted to be very bold and I have a soft spot for Kevin Harvick, he was one of the veteran drivers that I loved coming into the sport. I was like, he's going to go out on top. He's going to be the championship winner. Obviously wasn't really that close when it came down to it. So yeah, this was my preseason bracket. Obviously didn't look too pretty when it's all said and done, but hopefully I'll do better in 2024. So overall, predictions altogether, I'd give myself like a 50%. I was halfway there, halfway not. Yeah, I gotta do better next year. But that is it for this episode of Above the Yellow Line. How well did you do on your 2023 predictions? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to check us out at TobyChristie.com for more NASCAR content and AboveTheYellowLine.com for more merchandise and more about us. As a reminder, we're still gonna have videos coming out during the off season, so stay tuned for those. And this week on Thursday, we're gonna have our awards banquet for the 2023 season, the ATYL crew, myself. We're all gonna go live on the TobyChristieCom YouTube and Facebook pages, giving out superlatives for this year. Best driver, craziest moment, whatever you can think of, we're gonna break it down on that live stream. So make sure to join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the TobyChristieCom YouTube and Facebook pages. But that is it for me. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and until next time, I'll see ya. Bye.